Good morning, everybody. Welcome to episode 62 of Coffee with Den, the show where we wake up together and briefly touch on the topic that's scheduled before getting derailed onto whatever else comes up. Good morning. I was just trying out a new tagline.
That's probably the most accurate description of this show that I've ever heard.
It was pretty good. I liked it.
It was perfect.
Yeah, we're going to talk about selling shit for matter today.
Damn right.
Which stemmed from basically having to finally admit to myself that I've got a bunch of interesting things that I'm never going to use and I'm just hoarding. So I might as well sell them off. What is that, Blue's Clues house? What are you?
Oh my God. Oh, that's cool. No, I'm somewhere else.
That's the Hufflepuff.
Oh,
yeah, I'm in the Hufflepuff common room.
Yeah, it looks like Hufflepuff.
So Gravity Crab's been playing Hogwarts Legacy. Speaking of moving to a different topic.
Oh, no. We don't have to go into there immediately. We don't have to go that far right now.
Yeah. And then T Swift or Die is patiently waiting on the physical copy to arrive in the mail because he still has a Netflix DVD subscription, and that's how he gets everything.
Yeah. Blockbuster wasn't doing it for me. The Blockbuster subscription.
Yeah.
God, I still remember my sister getting DVDs mailed like in the little Netflix red packaging and having no concept of what it was.
I did hang on to it for a while. I think I even changed my Netflix subscription to do the old DVD way when they were trying to phase it out in the beginning. It was a fantastic way to rip DVDs.
Yeah, I was gonna say, great way to steal movies.
Yeah, because if you had a subscription that was a flat fee and you could have 2 or 3 movies out at a time, you could just run through just building up your collection of personal backups. Not advocating breaking the law here. You wouldn't download a car, would you? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Also, I would download a bear.
Remember all of that?
Yeah, you wouldn't download a car. It's like, I would. Are you insane?
We'll talk about all the stuff we got for sale for Matter. People that have been stacking Matter rewards in a minute. But do you remember that approach? I always thought it was the most ridiculous approach. Somebody thought that was a good idea to be like, oh yeah, people will get this. This will resonate. You wouldn't download a car, would you?
It was the same. It was the same approach as they tried to hit us with when I was in school with not doing drugs by coming in and telling us everything that drugs did.
Yeah.
And
keeps you up late.
Don't do that.
You don't get tired so much. You're highly productive for short bursts of time.
I remember being fascinated by I was fascinated because they brought all this stuff in and told us about it. And I had just watched the movie Scarface, which was probably not a good thing to have watched as a 5th grader going into the DARE program.
Was this prep for the DARE meeting? You're like, oh,
no,
we're gonna go
I happened to find a crappy DVD rip of Scarface around the same time. So I had just become fascinated by Blow.
That's fantastic. Another movie called Blow was pretty good too.
Oh God, that's such a good movie.
Yeah.
So
maybe not great for 5th graders.
Yeah, no, not great for 5th graders. But I got really good movies when I was a lot younger. So, hey, that's good. At least I wasn't watching something designed.
They just really liked confectioner's sugar. It's fine. It's fine for a 5th grader.
Yeah.
It's not fine for a 5th grader. Okay. So, here's the thing, man. I got a bunch of cool stuff that actually is legitimately cool. And what I want to figure out is how to arrange a marketplace on Den, basically, but one that's sort of those Facebook buy sell trade groups or Craigslist and stuff like that, like a manual way of doing it. Later on, there is plans to incorporate an actual matter swap for lot and stuff, which Alexon's already said he would be interested in trading matter for some lot to layers he doesn't own. So that's a good idea too, because I got a butt ton of that I'm trying to get rid of. So let's talk about the best way to do that. And let's start, I think, by looking at, by the way, voting is open on layers and stuff. So let's look at the layers that are up.
Oh, that was a segue and a half.
Well, there's a reason, because in the phone ringing room, in the layer LCP section, there is, it's already at number 1. Look at that. By total lore committed, number 1 is Marketplace, which I forgot existed until I think Alexon's brought it up. And then if you go over to unique voters, it's also winning by unique voters. Next to artificial intelligence, though, AI is a good one too. So real quick, the way recap how LCPs work. Every month for a week, this is open for voting. And lately what we've been doing is we've been getting the number one by unique voters, right? Where no matter how many times you vote, because you can vote more than once, it only counts unique voters for that. And so number one by unique voters, and then you can pay a fee also in Matter for any of the runners up that don't win, but you want to just push them over the finish line, that kind of thing. And then also there's the other category of lore committed, where no matter how many, like it ignores the unique voters and it just counts strictly based on total lore committed. And that one we do number 8 and 21, because every time we've done number one, it's just been the same one that wins both categories. And you get fewer layers. That aside, it looks like Marketplace is in number one in both. So let's read it, because I haven't looked at this in a while, and I'm wondering if it matches what I was talking about. So description. Who? Let's see. Does it say who? I think Alexon said he or she that they proposed it. So thanks, Alexons. If it's not you, sorry. Post items you want to sell, collect, exchange with who you might be interested in this layer, boost your items, list an NFT, post a job or project. Oh yeah. So basically what I was thinking of, you could sell services. Like if you wanted, there's a Denizen called Friday Night Bingo that does pixel art, for example. And I want to take some screenshots of my spaceships in No Man's Sky and get them to make pixel art out of it. And then I could pay in Matter, stuff like that. Much like a newspaper, classifieds. Yeah, this looks like what I'm looking for. So obviously I've got a butt ton of lore over here, and I'm going to put some on it. I got 0.18%. So I'm going to go ahead and vote on this since it seems to be exactly what I want already. So let's see. I don't want too much of it, but I do want enough to matter. So let me go with 256,000. That gives me 5% almost. I want more than that. I'm going to do 512. Boom, 8%. Slap that on there, and now I'm going to be an owner if it wins. So that's what we can use. Now, how would we do that?
Stop doing that. Because I just put all of my lore into Marketplace, got 1.8%.
Well,
that's all I got. 1.8. Literally everything I own.
Here's what we do. See how I have way too much lore for my own good?
You give it to me.
Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go down the list to everyone who's replied in today's episode, and I'm going to hand out lore.
I replied in today's episode. You better give me points for it.
So whoever happened to have replied on today's episode is going to get some lore, so you can go vote on stuff. Vote on the Marketplace thing. Vote on something else. So I'm going to tip Alexons. How much do I have? 1.4 million.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give out. How much should I give out to everybody? Like 100,000, 128,000.
You're on Matter, right? To give Matter.
That's true. Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah. 128K. That sounds good, right?
Is that like a thing? Is that like 128? Is that a thing?
Yeah, 128, 256, 512, 768, 1024. Computer numbers.
Oh yeah. See, to me, computer numbers are zeros and ones. Because I'm more of like a retro kind of guy.
Fun fact: the reason that those numbers are computer numbers is because everything is a 0 and a 1. Those are all multiples of certain sets of bits and bytes and nibbles and shits.
Fun fact. That really wasn't that fun of a fact.
It was a fact.
It was. I don't know about the veracity of funness.
it was as fun as some of Demetrius Martin's jokes were last night.
Oh, sick!
How about that? Yeah, he had some really good ones. My wife and I went for Valentine's Day. My wife and I went to see Demetri Martin last night at the Phillips Center for the Performing Arts in Gainesville. Thank you, sir, for coming into town. I enjoy your work. But I gotta say, he had some really good ones, and he had some that were not great. And it was I should have anticipated this, but I didn't. And so my wife is very fluent in English, but she did not grow up in the USA. So she's not familiar with a bunch of like the American English phrases and sayings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And a solid 50% of Demetri Martin's jokes are based on like wordplay and like common sayings and things that people grew up hearing, in the US.
He's a very smart comic, but
it's like, clever. It's super clever.
You have to understand this, like the sayings. Like, I can speak a little Spanish, but if you start throwing out fucking weird ass phrases that make no sense, like it's
like one of his jokes was about the saying, it's all fun and games until someone loses an eye.
It's all fun and games until someone gets hurt. It's the saying.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Well, an eye for an eye makes the world go blind is the
okay. Well, in this reality, the saying is, it's all fun and games until someone loses an eye. But it's also all fun and games until someone finds an eye. So really, it's fun until the number of eyes changes. So that was his joke.
I think that one might need a little bit more tweaking. It's funny. I didn't even realize that a friend of mine used to like write for his show.
Oh yeah.
And so now I got to go back and watch his show, and I keep forgetting to do that.
It's good, especially if you watch it with good audio. I was up in the mezzanine and it was muddy and like echoey, so it was kind of difficult already. Yeah. And it wasn't his fault, but it was just kind of the theater that we were in.
Makes sense.
I listened to him backstage one time. Didn't see his show at all. I just happened to be there working for the AV system, like at the rights union, the student thing. And he sounded funny, back then. And he still was today. That's my whole Demetri Martin story. I don't have anything else. Point is, I think 128 is the number. So I'm going to hand out stacks of lore right now. So Alexons, I'm going to tip you. I'm going to add a message to this to say, from CWD 62. That's where we are today. So I'm going to tip that out. That says lore, right? Okay, tip. Yeah. Boom. Confirm. Let's go down the list. Who else we got? Jacob Wayne. All right. 128.
You should.
Oh, that's matter again. Shit.
that's a lot of matter. I don't know if you have that much matter. You should also like
from CWD 62. All right.
Give me.
Yeah, no, go for it. I'm gonna tip out so people can go vote on the marketplace. Tip or whatever they want to vote on. It's yours once I give it to you. From CWD 62. Okay. Tip. Confirm. Hyperion Frequency. Go post in the replies if you haven't, because I'm not tipping out YouTube comments right now. Juicy J, same for you. Lore 128,000. Add message from CWD 62. Because I want to. I am for AM. What's up? Good morning. Thank you. 128 for you. And then we'll figure out. What to start with, basically, as far as what items to start with. I got a lot of matter now because I went and bought some while it was cheap over on Uniswap. And the more matter you have, the more daily lore you get. It's auto staked for you. Even if you don't have it on Den, you just keep it in a wallet that's claimed, and you'll start generating lore. That's where. So if you're wondering where all this lore came from, it was because I went and grabbed matter and kept it, and that matter yields lore, and you can use the lore to vote on layers. This cannot be undone. Okay, no, cancel. Not from 128. From CWD 62. That's what happens when I try to multitask. Point is, you can use matter to get lore. You can use lore to get lot, and you can use lot to get matter again. So that's how the wheel turns. There we go. Who else we got here? I'll reload real quick, and then I'll move along. Anybody else? Anybody? Boom, 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 boom. Hyro, what's up? All right. I'll give you 610 energy and 128,000 lore, bro. Just like I said. See, every now and then, it pays to hang out and talk about random shit with Dave.
You just accidentally tried to send that man
100,000
matter.
I keep trying to do that. I really keep. I did it. I did that once. I was trying to give. So Lisa, Litecoin Lisa, over in the Mighty Lair, she had a big meetup, and part of their what do you call it? Blind auction or whatever.
Silent auction.
Yeah, silent auction. She was raising money, and she sold a bunch of lot for the firearms layer. And I think I must have added to or contributed to that or something as part of the fundraiser. Anyway, I was tipping it out to her, and I gave her like 7,000 matter on accident instead of 7,000 lot, which I'm like, man, that was. And there was a message that came up and everything that challenged, like, are you sure you want to do this? It can't be undone. And I was like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Come on, I do this every day.
Still screwed it up right now.
Screwed it up.
The computer tries to tell you, like, hey, man, you might want to double check this. And you're like, silence, creature. I know what I'm doing.
Do you know who I am?
Do you know who I am? I own you.
Yeah, so that's right. Lore, yes, confirmed.
Like
all right, Hyro,
thank you. Administrative rights, and you're just like, I own you.
Same thing here. What a great day to be with everybody in the morning. Heck yeah. Come on now. Come on, computer. Tip. There we go. Lore. So anyway, I had to ask nicely. I was like, hey, so about that matter.
Like, hey, Lisa, we're going to need that back, please.
She was nice about it, you know.
Of course.
But it was my mistake. She didn't have to. It was hers at that point.
Well, at least we sent it to somebody that's like, we knew would give it back.
Oh, stop.
Stop that. You're just adding that to his message now.
Oh, come on.
What are you doing, Dave?
It keeps changing. Is this the user interface? 1, 2. Whoa, I'm gonna refresh.
Oh, the UI.
Something's happening. Yeah. Hyperion frequency. It doesn't want you to get yours, dude. It doesn't.
The algorithm is fighting against us.
Oh, where'd you go? Here you are. Tip. Let's try it again. There we go. This says matter though. Damn it.
Just stop doing that.
Okay, that's the one right there. And then we can be done for now. Good Lord. All right. Okay. Okay?
Yeah, everything looks good.
All right. Jeez, that was easy.
That was such a straightforward process.
All right. So, when to sell some shit, part of it is, let me get rid of her. And I'll show you what I got.
I hate that I laughed at that.
I love Lord. She's a great artist.
I just hate that I laughed at that.
So I have this. So what this is an Intel 12900K.
Dave,
with a motherboard. What?
Please place the motherboard safely in your hands.
I'm holding it by the.
I know. Stop doing that. The heatsink is huge.
Well, yeah, the heatsink is. I'm not holding it by the motherboard. The heatsink's heavier. It's got this big bracket on the back. Look, I'm telling you, it's fine. And so it doesn't have memory. No, I'm gonna make you uncomfortable, and I'm gonna hold it by the freaking push-pull fans. All right. And I swear it's fine.
It's totally fine. I'm just.
And this is a great piece of hardware for anybody who needs a new gaming rig.
Really
or John, if you need a multimedia desktop upgrade, right? So it doesn't have RAM. It would need DDR5. It's a DDR5 platform. And it doesn't have a hard drive, but it has an M.2 slot.
It's also 9.
Which is what you want these days.
I'm really bad at Dance Dance Revolution, so I don't know if that's going to work for me.
Well, have you gotten the 5th edition of DDR? Because that one is what you need.
No, I didn't.
You have to dance to execute memory.
But John brings up a good point. It needs memory. I shouldn't just throw out acronyms and assume everybody knows them. It needs memory and a hard drive, but it's got an i9 Intel CPU, which is great for gaming if you're on Windows. Now, the reason I don't want it is because I kind of bought it as an experiment for mining, and it's not the best for mining Monero. And so I was like, fuck it, I don't want you anymore. And I actually had 2. We built for y'all one, and that's why this one doesn't have memory.
Actually, no, credit where credit's due. He built the damn Hackintosh.
That's fair, yeah.
I couldn't get it going, and he spent hours and hours figuring that out until he had it running on metal.
So that's the majority of a platform when you're building like a new CPU. The rest of it, you just need a hard drive and you need memory in there, mouse, keyboard, monitor, stuff like that, and a case to put it all in. So the other question, so I've got that. I've also got a bunch of merch. So if you just go to dragonchain.store and look in the Den merch section, I've got like 3 boxes of merch. And I probably have, ironically, everything except the coffee with Den stuff is what I've got. So if you go to the Dragon Chain store, let me see here.
I forgot we bought a bunch of merch before we had merch.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And this is where I might have to figure out how to put up, like ideally I would just put up a Matter shop where people could pay in Matter and have an order fulfilled, right? But for now, we can do it manually. If I go to shop, and then I go down to Den right here. I've got most of this except the coffee stuff up top. I've got hats, I've got mugs, I've got shirts with different color emblems. I've got 1 laptop sleeve. You can't have that. But all of these are new.
I like how you had to point out that you had it. Like, I own this. It's mine.
Yeah. So I've got probably 80% of the stuff in the Den section of the Dragon Chain store. In different sizes and all that stuff. Like I'm decked out, ready to deal, that kind of thing. Now on the Dragon Chain store, you can pay in US dollars or credit, or maybe even Dragon at one point you could, but there's not a Matter option. So that's where I can come in and sort of like, it's decentralized, right? You can't just rely on one entity to do everything. So we got to make our own Matter shop. What do you guys think about the trust problem? Because that's one of the few things that came up, and I'll talk about IM for IM's concerns in a minute too. But what do you think about like? Here's what I don't want to happen is people to get scammed, right?
Well, I mean, that is exactly what's going to happen.
So what's going to happen is people are going to have to be adults and make like qualified decisions and stuff.
This is the internet.
And the only way to, like, right now, the infrastructure that is in place can facilitate, obviously we have DMs and stuff. So let's say there's the marketplace layer wins, right? Which it might at this point, because I've just given people a bunch of votes to go vote for it. I've bribed people to go vote for it.
I was going to say, that sounds a bit sketchy.
Okay. Yeah. Well, vote for whatever you want. I'm not going to hold you accountable. But my point is, you can post like, hey, I've got this. Here's how much Matter I want for it. And then from there, you can just DM each other. That's probably the most effective way to do it right now. So like, for example, if this stupid Lord joke here was instead a post from me saying, hey, I've got this 12900K, and I link to it on like Newegg so you can see what it, what it is and all that. Then you could DM me. You can click on my name here. And if you're not me, let me click on somebody else's name so it makes sense. Click on Alexon's name. I can hit this button right here to DM Alexon's, and I can say, hey, I want that CPU and stuff. Let's trade. And then you're on your own, right? You're behind the scenes. You're talking 1-to-1, and you can make your own deal. And so one concern is that somebody would lie and say, yeah, give me Matter. I'll totally ship this to you, and then not, right? So that's not good.
That's a pretty big concern.
It is a big concern, yeah. And then the other concern is my biggest concern, which is that as soon as like you start handing out shipping addresses, you got to be careful. Like, are you giving people your home address where they can now know. You know what I mean? I don't want those two things to happen to where there's something bad happens. So yeah, those are my concerns. So how do you mitigate that?
You can there's probably third-party websites where it's basically like kind of it'll probably work like how eBay works or something, where it'll hold things in escrow or whatever until the transaction's complete and verification of like shipping and stuff like that. When it comes to like your address, like we do that already with eBay, Craigslist, whatever else.
That's true. Yeah.
Sorry, maybe go get a PO box if you really want to do that, or ship it to your friend's house.
Yeah, they can get murdered.
So maybe this is just like information that needs to go at the top in the description of the lair, saying, you know, think about what you're doing, be careful, that kind of thing.
Like a big old blurb.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you know, I'm not gonna like right now. I'm not building in any kind of escrow system or like handling anyone's money for them, anything like that. It's all peer to peer. You know, got to go be independent adult humans. But that happens elsewhere too. Like with eBay, like you said, like with Facebook, all the time. People are like, I have this sofa. Come to my house and get it, random person.
Yeah,
you know?
Please show up at my front door.
Yeah, and that shit's sketch to me. You know, I'm not gonna lie, that shit's a little bit weirds me out a little bit. Yeah. So if you're concerned about that stuff, get a PO box.
I used to be really weirded out by that until I started to need to buy a bunch of ancient computers, and the only place you can find those is in people's creepy houses. So, God, I've probably been to like 15 or so Craigslist homes that are just sketchy and weird.
Yeah, it's a thing people do, and it's just kind of like it's the risk you're going to take. The odds of it happening aren't very high, but also like
I think that's kind of the world we live in today, right? Like you got to think about that shit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. The world we live in today, I don't know where I'm going with this.
Okay, well then don't.
Yeah, keep going. I'm good.
So I am for I am. Oh, also, while I'm saying what I am for I am said, Hyperion frequency, you gave me half a question. Can we get the following statistics updated? The answer is probably yes, but I need which ones you're talking about.
Where is the following?
Yeah. So I am for I am points out the issue, like legal issue, basically. There's a guy sitting in jail right now with multiple life sentences for running a website. And that website allowed people to barter with each other without going through regulators or paying taxes, which is what got him in trouble.
Yeah.
And so that's the other issue is like, make sure you're not doing something that facilitates illicit activity, which, I'm not trying to do that. The problem with that also comes from what fucking country do you live in? You know what I mean? Like in some countries, it's illegal for me to sell you a thumb drive that has encryption software on it. You know, like you're just going to have to be responsible for making sure you don't violate the law, I guess, because we're not trying to be a darknet market here.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to get people to sell fucking heroin or something. You know, I'm not doing that.
GPU shaped heroin.
Yeah. In fact, it's a really good point where a marketplace layer is going to need people to chip in and self-regulate and self-censor and self-govern and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So that could be a really good experiment to see, you know, how active people are with that. And that would mean things like blocking sellers who try to sell something that is inappropriate. Because if enough people block the same denizen in the same layer, the layer automatically bans that person.
Yeah.
Right. So things like that. Like I really, really want to do this, and soon, like as soon as we get the marketplace layer, I just want to make sure that, you know, if you have a concern, that we try to address it in some point, because it should be done. I want it to be good. You know, I want it to be cool, that kind of thing. And anyway. A swapping layer could get the SEC all over our ass for running an unlicensed money exchanger. If we're a money exchanger, this is why we have DMs. It's all peer-to-peer. I'm just saying this is a platform to communicate. And if they're not going over after Facebook for it, then we should be able to do it here too, right? Of course, that's Facebook, and they've got a team full of lawyers. So the SEC is afraid to do anything to them. Isn't that crazy? Like people at the SEC have actually said they don't go after the bigger companies because they can defend themselves.
God.
I was like, what the fuck is this, dude?
Like, what that's a transparent statement, but
oh, okay. Did I get corrected? So Hyperion frequency first said, can we get the following statistics updated? The following followers.
I was wondering if that's what he meant.
You know, I'll be honest, I forgot all about that. But yeah, it's not, I don't think is it not representing correctly? Is that what it is? I've been working on stats lately for the leaderboard stuff. and I've got a bunch of cool ones together. It's just not up yet. We did fix a bug. While I'm off topic, we did fix a bug with people's matter payouts not showing up correctly on the payouts section. Somebody brought that up. I forget who it was, but I looked into it and we found that there was just something not displaying correctly. The actual mining is fine, what people received. It was just displaying incorrectly. So that's fixed. We also have the new, speaking of behavior in the marketplace, we also have the new economic reputation system running. So that's interesting. That means people are going to have to think about how they vote more often. It'll act differently. But yeah, so that's a good point from I am for I am. So we should have some baseline rules, right? Yeah. Basically, which makes sense.
And then you have to enforce people like following those rules because we told them that there are rules.
Yeah, mainly
there's
like
so much shit.
Yeah, you can't knowingly, like if somebody says, Teehee, I'm saying that I'm selling sugar, but I'm really selling Coke. LOL, don't tell anyone. I have to tell someone, right? Because I live in the USA and that's against the law if I like knowingly facilitate transactions that I know are like, you know what I mean? It's like, that's what, there was a website called Local Bitcoin that got in trouble. It was the authorities actually went undercover and pretended that they were buying Bitcoin from people. And they were saying like, oh yeah, I just want to use this on the darknet markets because I'm trying to skirt the law or I'm trying to launder money. So I need to get, like was saying that when they were buying it. Yeah. And because the people still went forward with the transaction and didn't say anything, they ended up getting sued or shut down or charged with some, thing or whatever. So definitely not trying to like there's other people working on markets like that is what I'll say.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. So disclaimers aside, I've got merch. I've got Gravity Crab. We've got you.
Oh God, no, what?
I was just thinking if somebody did want to buy that, they would need somebody to assemble it into a machine for them.
I mean, I'm not gonna do an on-site to another state.
No, but I'm wondering if you would accept Matter as for a service of like building something for them. I'm trying to figure out how to get a rig.
Any of our denizens here, I'm going to put this out, bluntly. Any of our denizens who have seen this, or I'll even make a post about it, can send me a message saying that their computer's screwed up in some way, and I'll probably accept Matter if they want to send it to me to sort it. So yeah, I'd absolutely build whatever we're sending out, and I'll make sure it's damn cherry inside too.
Far out. So that would be what we'd have.
That cooler you've got on it is already badass.
I know. I bought it from mining, so I was like, this thing's going to be 100% 24/7. And I needed to be cold.
Oh, they were in such cool cases too. I wish we probably got a picture somewhere. That was a machine that we had that was dual i9s on separate motherboards in like a single case. And it was so cool. How much was that case? Do you still have it?
I do still have it.
I kind of want it.
I almost used it yesterday. It was a Thermaltake case.
I kind of want it. I don't need it. Like, I can't think of a feasible reason why I would ever need one.
It was like one of these.
Because you want one. That's why.
I mean, I kind of just want to have like my Windows machine and a totally separate Linux machine off on the side.
Yeah, I don't know where it's at, but it was like this. It was a big fatty where you could have two boards.
It was so much fun to build too.
No, this is still a single.
That was way easier. Yeah, the one that we're talking about, I mean, it stands the size of a damn file cabinet.
Mm-hmm. And it's like you're building a mainframe or something.
Yeah, it's awesome. It felt like if you've ever seen the show *Halt and Catch Fire*, it felt like an episode of that. Which, if you've never seen it, I would highly recommend.
No, I haven't.
What's the show?
*Halt and Catch Fire*.
What the fuck is that about? It was
from a few years back. So it was. It's from like 4 or 5 years ago, I'd say. It was an AMC show. Yeah, we're both pretty bad about it, man.
Both of us, yeah.
So AMC had a show called *Halt and Catch Fire* that was from the late 80s to the early 90s based in. And it was just a guy who wanted to be really good as like a computer engineer, but failed at Comdex. gets the ability to break the law, like gets the chance to break a major IBM law and reverse engineer like the bootloader for an IBM computer. So it starts with that, and they end up with like a computer company that's under scrutiny from the law. It's wild. It's basically what happened to Compaq in the original. Like it's based off of what Compaq did. But overall, it's just a really good show about the early tech industry, and they get a lot of stuff right.
I like those kinds of shows.
Just like how magically, it even shows at one point when they're at Comdex, how so many people thought way too fast. Like, trying to put a computer that can talk to you in the 80s when the thing that's really going to catch everybody is a Macintosh with a mouse. So there's my spiel about how good Halt and Catch Fire is.
Well, here's the actual CPU. They've got it for sale for $432 on Newegg, which brings me to something else I wanted to figure out is like how to price stuff. For anybody that already has Matter on Den, we could just use whatever the market price is that's displayed on what you call it? What is it? Etherscan?
Yeah, but it's going at like what, 3 cents a share or something?
Yeah, but the thing is, so if you look up the Matter token here, I'll show you what the thing is, because there's a thing. So if I grab, so this has got it currently valued at 3 cents, right? But if I grab the contract here, is that it? Yeah, token contract, and I go to Uniswap, I want to show you what happens, and explain why it happens. So right now we have what people would refer to, traders would refer to as low liquidity, which means there's not a lot of people that are adding their tokens into the liquidity pool for people to trade on. And the incentive for doing that is anybody who adds liquidity to Uniswap, whether it's Matter or Lore against Ether, anybody who does that gets a heavier vote in the Den.DAO decisions. Basically, they get to decide, they get more of a percentage of vote in the governance of the platform. And that's really the only incentive right now. Plus, there's a 1% fee. Anytime somebody trades Matter, people get 1% of that trade as a reward, right? So if I think Ethereum's, let's say Ethereum's $1,000. I think it's like $1,600 bucks. Let's say it's $1,000. That thing here is $432, right? So if I wanted to have that much, if I wanted to price it based on me buying Matter to pay for it, what is that? 0.4, I'll call it 0.45 Ether, yeah. Right? What happens is you have what's called slippage. So this price impact warning shows up right here. It makes a 24% price impact on Matter. Meaning if I buy, oh, that says $700. Well, I don't want $700. I want, let's do 0.25, right? That's $400 almost. So if I buy $400 worth of Matter, it's going to move the price of Matter by 15%. And so I've had that question in the past about like, how do I actually buy? For example, if you want to open a new layer on Den, you can pay in Matter, but it's 1 Ether, or I'm sorry, it's 0.66 Ether worth of Matter, right? But if they do that and they calculate it based on current price, which is 3 cents, as soon as they buy it, it changes the price by 15%, and their calculation is suddenly incorrect. Yeah. So what I've been doing is I've been telling people, if you want to open a private layer or if you want to open a custom DAO on Den, you can just give us, you just put in the amount that it costs, which is 0.66, and then whatever number Uniswap gives you as the amount of Matter, that's how much it costs. Because we can always go on the blockchain and see, like, okay, this is literally how much Ether you spent, so that is the appropriate amount of Matter. And that's a complicated way of saying this is how I propose pricing stuff. Until liquidity improves, is we can say this much worth of Matter based on this Uniswap interface, right? So if you just make this here, if you just make this number say whatever the price of your item is, right?
Yeah.
Then the price in matter would be whatever this says. And this could be the way that we calculate it. Now, how confusing is that? Because I feel like it's very confusing.
I don't think it's confusing.
Okay. So we would just need a link to this.
Yeah.
And say, make this number say whatever price you want to sell it, as in matter. And then that'll be how much matter it costs.
Because you can do that way as long as honestly, I don't need to understand the baseball side of it. Like I don't need to understand why this is it. I just do make that number equal to the thing. Like gotcha. I don't need to know the rest of it. And as long as we have an agreed upon amount of matter, it doesn't fucking matter how many dollars it's worth. Because you could be like, I know matter's going to go up by like a whole bunch. So I'm willing to I just want all the matter I can get my hands on.
Yeah.
You're like, I know matter's going to eat dog shit soon. So it's going to cost a lot and because it's based on your value of it too. It's like a fair barter. There's no one.
Yeah. You're saying, I want to trade these screwdrivers for these other widgets.
Yeah.
Kind of
and I'm basically valuing how much time it's taken me to accumulate X amount of matter to purchase this item.
That's a good point too. Because this Uniswap thing is just one way of valuing it. Really, it's whatever you think, it is to you. Like your PlayStation 5 that you bought was probably like difficult to get, which is why people are actually paying more for them. Typically, we're paying more for them than what the actual retail value said it was supposed to be. Yeah. You want to sell it for matter?
My PlayStation? Nope.
Got to play Hogwarts first.
I want to get it to work. That's what I want to do. Stupid ass Samsung TVs. Yeah, it's so stupid. But yeah. Cool.
Well, let's go down the line here and see what else is in the replies. I'll go to the top. Refresh. So that's the majority of working out a marketplace, I think. That's the majority of the concerns and how to do it. And then stuff like that can go into the description of the layer.
Yeah.
To where people can just see how it works. And that'll be how we do it. So that's cool. So yeah, it is Alxon's layer that he proposed. So that's cool. What else? Jacob Wayne. Yeah, you can barter whatever you want in that layer. That's fine. Juicy J likes the idea. People want to get matter to exchange for services and other things. And that's really what it's about, right? Is like, okay, we have these tokens. We have this sort of economy going where people are earning rewards tokens and things like that.
Yeah.
What else can we use it for? And that could be if you're an artist and you want to sell, like custom drawings. Like I got someone to draw my dog one time, which was awesome, in watercolors. If you're a maker of medieval scale mail armor and you want to sell that for matter, I've done that before. I've bought this was a different currency, but I hit somebody up in the community who like made legitimate awesome like period pieces, and I bought a suit of armor. So anything like that. Or if you want Juicy J to come over and renovate your kitchen or something, I don't know.
Yeah, I think
maybe pay for labor, but or pay for the materials, and maybe you'd take matter for the labor. I don't know.
One of the things like about it too is like, so for the item you're selling, I don't know how many people are going to have 14,000 matter. So like a lot of this stuff is probably going to be a combination. Like here's matter plus dollars plus like a favor. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's sort of the idea though, because I do want to drive people to go grab some matter from Uniswap, because that is a positive. That's positive pressure on the Den economy. Basically, that gives a net awesome effect for people that want to use that token and stuff like that. Yeah. So, but other stuff like I've also got like a bunch of books. I know we don't use the books layer as much as I had planned on. But I got a bunch of books that are awesome that I don't want to just give away because it took me a while to find like that copy of the book, but they're also just taking up so much space right now.
Hey, I want dibs on your books before you start matter selling them.
Well, you might have to matter buy them, dude.
I can just
we'll see.
I'll matter buy them, but I'm gonna come look at them first.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Stuff like that. What motherboard do you have for sale?
Oh, for that CPU?
Yeah, I'm trying to give you an accurate price on what it's actually going to be worth.
Sure. This is all stuff that we'd have to figure out how to list it anyway. So this can be something that's listed as soon as the layer goes live. This is a Pro Z690A. It's a good one. MSI.
MSIA Pros are fantastic boards.
Yep.
Let's see.
Got any graphics cards I can buy for you?
I thought about it, but then I remembered Starfield's coming out this year, so I'll keep it.
You definitely should for Starfield, because I know that's going to run like crap.
Yep.
It's Bethesda, so of course it's going to run like crap. All right, so you're probably, if you're going to be selling, is it just the motherboard and the CPU?
Yep, CPU motherboard combo. Yep.
You're probably looking at about $450 in terms of like what its current retail value would be.
Got you. For like not new in the box kind of thing.
Well. Yeah. With the cooler on it, you can probably say like $475 for a good resale value.
That is a Thermaltake something giant cooler.
Yeah. I would it's one of those that if I was going to sell it in store, like with a power supply and everything and a GPU, I'd probably have, it would be like an $800 or $900 computer. But board and motherboard, board and CPU, like $475 would be fair.
Cool. So that'll be up, and then that and the Den merch will be the first thing that I put up in the in that marketplace. Then in that case,
I'm gonna sell jokes.
No, that's
a great idea.
If anybody needs me to, if people need me to write best man speeches or presentations for your work,
that's actually not a bad idea.
If anybody needs me to do their homework,
it's not going to be correct, but
yeah, I'll do it. You'll have something to turn in. Yeah.
I told you I write jokes. You gave me algebra. What did you want?
What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah, there's letters in both. I get it, but it's not the same.
Should never put letters in math.
All right, so
what else is going on, man? I think we talked the marketplace to death.
Cool.
Let's change the conversation a little bit.
I gotcha.
Now I'm thinking of the stuff we can sell though.
Yeah, there's plenty, right?
Yeah,
the Denizen Bazaar.
Now I've got tons of random old books that I currently don't, would like to get rid of and not just throw them.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Our eyes first met from across the roller rink. I was quite nervous, but you gave me a wink.
What did I just look at?
You said yes to that so quick. You were just like, yeah, let's fucking just show this thing.
Yeah, it surprised me. I thought it was like you sharing your screen. It was like it was autoplay on selection. So I was like,
scared the
fuck
shit
it, let's go.
out of me.
So happy Valentine's Day to you too, John.
Oh, that's right. Right, it was Valentine's Day yesterday.
Play it again.
Play it again. Okay. So now with some forethought and preparation, let's see what we're in for. What do you got for us? That's great. Where did you get that?
Young John picture.
The picture? Where did I get the picture?
Yeah, did you have it ready to go, or did you have to?
He was a child.
I wasn't. See a picture. I didn't take the picture yesterday.
You want to see a picture of me from the past?
Yeah. So no, that's the intro to the Valentine's Day game show episode.
Oh hell yeah!
Okay.
So now you got to share the slide.
All right. So this is one of the games on the game show, is what it looks like.
Yeah, I just made it up this morning.
One of the mini games. All right. Valentine's edition.
Mary Fuck Kill Valentine's Day edition,
hell yeah.
baby.
Have you seen? There's an Elder Scrolls Twitter account that just does like hot or not for NPCs. And so they just post. It's like every day they post a different NPC.
That's pretty funny.
Oh my god,
that kind of thing.
I like it.
I need to see that. Actually, I feel like I have opinions on that. Speaking of
no, you go back. What are you doing?
Oh, it's not over. All right,
it's
so
not
let's play.
It's not just one slide.
Oh, it's a slide
it
deck.
says Mary Fuck Kill.
Oh, I have control over it. Okay, what do we got?
Well, don't let me do it.
Oh, all right. Welcome to the unplanned slideshow.
You brought up the
love
slide,
this.
and then you're like, "What about
morning.
this other thing?" That's what you did.
Oh, look, a squirrel. Okay, so John's got a slide deck with some game show games that he's thought of.
All right, so this is Mary Fuck Kill, the Den Valentine's Day edition. Welcome, contestants. All right. There's no points. It's just a nice little happy discussion.
Okay. All right.
If I feel like making points, I'll make the points. So you got to marry, fuck, kill one of these things: beer, wine, or liquor.
Oh, I thought this was a different game. I'm gonna marry beer.
Oh, 110%.
Marry beer.
Yeah.
I would end liquor.
I'm gonna marry beer. I'm gonna fuck wine, and I'm gonna kill liquor. That's what I'm gonna do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm definitely marrying beer, just because beer is when I used to drink, beer is God's gift. Wine, I could take it or leave it. Fuck, kill the wine. I'll fuck the liquor.
All right.
I am 100% marrying liquor.
Jesus,
100%. And I don't know if you've seen my house recently, but I have more liquor than most bars.
Is it 600? What is the appeal with a marriage with liquor? Is it because of the utility and the versatility? You can create things out of it.
Exactly. Like, and with beer and wine, you're gonna get stale. You can't really. It's hard to like fuck with it. Like beer, what do you do? Mix two beers together? Like that is a thing. But
do you know how much beer is out there?
Yeah,
it just takes longer.
Liquor is out there.
Like, it just takes you a couple of months to mix your beer. And that's all right. That's all. You just got to make a different variety.
Man, you just can make your own. I remember when you and Brian did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, John,
go ahead.
Oh, it reminds me of so you're a foodie. You're somebody who
I'm a big
writes
foodie.
probably could write good reviews on food. Dimitri, that show last night, he had a joke. He said you hear about foodies a lot, foodies is kind of a thing. You don't hear about drinkies so much. You don't call them drinkies.
It's just a different word. It's just a different word. It's called alcohol. They're literally wine connoisseurs. It's the whole thing. There's sommeliers, which are literally people that are professional drinkers. But yeah, so I'm marrying liquor. I think I want to fuck wine, and I think I kill beer.
Yeah, because wine's a sexy one, right?
Because wine, I think, is like one of these things where, like, if I'm going out to eat at like at a nice restaurant, I either want liquor or wine. I'm never like, it'd go really well with this steak tartare, beer. It'd be great with this little risotto mac and cheese, beer. Like, I'm never
a nice lager or like something, not like a lager, no, like an IPA or something. I would go for a nice beer.
It's probably just because it's probably, but I'm not pairing it whenever I do that. I just want a beer. It's not because I think
it's usually what it is.
Going to pair nicely with the dish or something.
Actually, now that I think about it, it's I didn't realize that beer had like good varieties until he was just like, "Why are you drinking that Budweiser thing? Here, have this." And it was like a nice craft beer.
A nice Pilsner is so nice though too. A nice little lager from like a nice little German lager. Like, I'm gonna miss that. It's hard. All right, next one.
You ever see Jimmy Fallon's thank you notes that he does?
Yeah,
that bit. He had one that said, "Thank you, craft beer, for making my drinking problem into a neat hobby.
All
right.
Next one.
Lord of the Rings.
Stop clicking the slides. Let me click the slides. I'll do it.
All right. I'm going back. You do it.
I gotta take away control.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah.
There's only 3 things over to the side, and there's 4 categories.
Yeah, because Star Wars. This is the only picture I could find. But also Star Wars. Star Wars is a staple. You can't get rid of Star Wars.
Yeah. Okay.
It's there forever. It's not part of this. This is just the picture I found. So yeah, what are you gonna marry for?
I'm gonna piss a lot of people off with this one.
Well, you've been playing the Harry Potter game.
I've also been because of my that you like to bring up the fact that I love lore. Yeah. I can't get any fucking thing done in the Harry Potter game because somebody will say like, "Oh, this happened at this point," and I'm just like, "Wait, what?" And I spend 35 minutes googling shit. So I'm definitely keeping Harry Potter. So we're gonna marry it. I'm not gonna marry. I'm not marrying Harry. Just throwing that out. Just the universe itself is wonderful.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
I'm a fuck with Pirates of the Caribbean just because my God, our boat's cool. I'm killing Lord of the Rings. I said everybody's going to be pissed. I'm killing off Lord of the Rings. It is an over glorified franchise.
I'm putting that one ring on my finger. What are you talking about, man?
Them's fighting words.
I'm getting down with that shit.
I told you. Listen, I have many a fandom in my mind, and for some reason, Lord of the Rings never stuck with me. I even sat down and watched through the whole thing in like one go. The Hobbit was great. Like that was a lot of fun, but the actual Lord of the Rings, I mean, it's so much just exposition.
It's the world though, and everything else that goes with it.
The world in my mind is just you got elves. It's your standard fantasy land.
Think about everything. That it like also like created off of that, like all like everything that's Tolkien inspired.
Yeah, arguably better things.
I don't know about that one.
Hey, here's a question. Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
Did you read and watch, or have you just watched?
I have read all of the Hobbit ones. I haven't read the main Lord of the Rings books. I definitely should. Harry Potter, I've read 4 of them, and they're substantially better than the films.
Pirates.
So
did you read the books?
I don't know if we get that chance. I bet you there's a book now. I don't know. Can we distill Johnny Depp down into a book because he is the entirety of Pirates of the Caribbean? Yeah. I don't know. I feel like if I read Lord of the Rings, I'd probably like it more because I guarantee you the world building is better.
It's interesting, and it gets into the heads of the characters pretty well, which I like.
I've discovered I like reading a lot more these days than I used to because of that entirely. Now, I say that there's a whole lot of exposition in them, but one of my favorite books in the world is The Odyssey, and like 60% of it is, Telemachus, the sun's up.
It's a fucking poem.
Like, it is a fucking poem, and my God,
it literally is. It's an epic poem, is what it is.
It is such a bit to read through sometimes, but
here's the thing too: is like I feel like with Lord of the Rings, like I would miss those characters, like all of those characters, so much, and with Pirates, like I just watch another Johnny Depp movie.
Yeah, I guess I can take or leave the characters from Pirates. I just think the films are more enjoyable in my mind, I guess. Okay, now I also want to throw a caveat out here really quick. Growing up, I have a person, not Jacob, wow. Dave knows, my sister Jennifer is not actually my sister. She just counts as far as we've been together forever. So growing up, her whole side of the family was Lord of the Rings people. My mom had a crazy thing for Johnny Depp, right? Not that she like just wanted to like take him into a cave and sleep with him. She thought he was a really good actor. So she bought like every movie he did. So I've seen every damn Johnny Depp movie there is. He was really good in Pirates.
I didn't know how much of your how much this slide would have, what am I trying to say?
Bring up?
This brings up a lot of stuff with you, Dave.
Dude, seriously, yeah. Did you ever notice the few times you were in my mother's house that she literally has if you look at there's still a cabinet that's every DVD.
Really? She has like a shrine.
He has basically a movie. We used to call it the shrine. Side note, he has a movie called Nick of Time that's actually really good. It's about killing the governor. It's great.
Cool.
Well, I would get rid of Harry Potter immediately.
Figured.
Like it's not a bad franchise at all. I've read probably 3 or 4 of the books. I think at least 3 of the books. I've seen 2 or 3 of the films. I saw like the first 2 and then the second to last or some shit.
The second one is arguably one of the most enjoyables.
And but like, I don't know. I'm getting rid of it. And then of the remaining so I've killed Harry Potter. The remaining, obviously Johnny Depp is the sexiest, so I'm fucking pirates and I'm marrying Lord of the Rings. That's how it's going to be.
No, I figured that would be
Lord of the Rings is a long-term relationship. That's a marriage.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you have this long-standing love for it, and it's like how I have like with people.
No, it's just long.
It's like how people like when I talk to my buddy Shay or whatever, me and him or me and you or my buddy Shay and I will sit there and chat for an hour about like Elder Scrolls lore, and there's people around me that are just like, what are you even on about? So it's like I have a deep love for that. So you also have an enjoyment for just world building and lore as it is.
Yeah, I definitely do.
And Lord of the Rings, I know, is chock full of it. I just don't know any of it.
Yeah.
And I do the same thing that you were talking about doing with video games where like I played through the first 2. I finished Dishonored 2 recently. But I was reading all the notes. I was reading all the little, like, why is this the world the way that it is? And what's the backstory behind this particular street gang or, whatever.
Every time. The perfect example lately is since I've been playing Hogwarts Legacy, I ran across a note where they were talking about like goblins. And they were like, oh, yeah, so this guy's a fluent speaker of the goblin language. And then it said what the language was called. And it's called gobbledygook. And I was like, that can't be the right thing. So I looked for hours and it was right.
That's awesome. Gobbledygook.
That's some token, not token. That's some J.K. Rowling's like way of naming shit. It's like, oh, let's just make a fucking onomatopoeia out of whatever the hell it is.
It works though. It works really well. I think. Fun fact for blockheads out there: there's a privacy coin called Grin, and it uses it uses a scheme to make transactions not traceable, to make it basically invisible transactions. You can't track who sent what to who and stuff like that. And the name of that scheme is called Mimblewimble, and it comes from Harry Potter. It comes from a spell in Harry Potter, Mimblewimble. So if you see Mimblewimble, Litecoin has implemented Mimblewimble. Grin has it, obviously. Beam uses it. And so, yeah, Mimblewimble is from that. That's what I know. That's my nugget.
I feel like I kind of want to wait for David to come back before we keep going.
We could, or he could be out there building someone a computer.
He's not going to be building somebody a computer. What if we called the office and was like, "Hey, how long is this going to take?"
Yeah, just call him up.
Just call his work and be like, "Hey, how long are you going to be with this fucking customer? Because we've got a game show you got to get back to now."
So what were yours? You married Lord of the Rings too, right? And you got rid of pirates, or what
on my finger? I think I'm gonna kill pirates.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna fuck with Harry Potter.
Yeah, but like from the later films when they're adults, because that's weird.
I've definitely like read the books for Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, and like
what?
I think there's enough like other probably pirate movies out there that I don't need pirates. I think
Pirates is fun though, man. Pirates is a lot of fun. What are your favorite Lord of the Rings books? Which ones did you like? I liked my favorite was The Hobbit was my favorite of the whole thing. I loved The Hobbit a lot. But what about you? Do you have a favorite of what is it, a quadrilogy? What is the how many books are there?
I mean, it's a trilogy with Lord of the Rings, and then The Hobbit's just like the prequel, essentially. But I would we're talking about the books or the
books. The books.
I think probably
you said you read them, right? So
yeah.
I wanted to get your opinion.
I think probably Fellowship would be one of my favorites. But also like The Hobbit, like I don't know, The Hobbit was really good too.
I like The Hobbit as a just like getting to know the characters that became like Gollum and stuff like that, which I thought was pretty cool because I did read it after I read at least some of the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I read it like a long time ago, so I'm trying to remember it. It's been like 7 years or something, actually. But I think like also like Tom Bombadil and like all the other like characters that got left out, I think are just like so fun. I wish they would do like an extended version and go and add all that shit and make these like 5-hour movies, but or like and then you also have like the Lord of the Rings like TV show. Actually, I forgot about that. That was like, I actually really enjoyed that. I've watched that all the way through like a few times because every week when it would come out, I would restart it. Like the whole
yeah,
thing.
just like go crash through what you've already seen just to get ready for the next thing that's coming out.
Just like every week, because it was so good. And I like I know I love that lore and like just that world. Is that a cat or a computer?
Did you know we have a Middle Earth lair?
I do, but nobody fucking does anything.
I forgot about it. Yeah. I was all right, we can get back into it after Gravity Crab stops looking to the left.
Okay, great. Back.
I was going to tell him that like basically the Middle Earth lair is pretty much, I want a Tamriel lair. I want a Elder Scrolls lair one day. Like I want to have more time to write for stuff like that. But I want it to exist so that other people can write about it. But you know, Middle Earth, it's there. It doesn't have a lot of traction, I think, but it's in there.
Yeah. No, yeah, like, and I don't know what to do with that layer besides be like, Lord of the Rings is cool, and then somebody else goes, yeah, Lord of the Rings is cool, and then like that's it. Like,
yeah, like it exists, sure does.
Yeah,
you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, like I don't know what else to do in there. That I guess like it's for memes also, but like I don't know. I don't like associate running around like posting Middle Earth memes. But
yeah, I'd imagine that like like there are a lot of people that are deep into Lord of the Rings to the point where they would like, I would like to see fan fiction, or I would like to see like theories about things that aren't explicitly laid out. Maybe they could say, hey, if you think about how this is in this book and that is in that book, and then in the movies this happened, it could imply that X, Y, and Z, you know, like little stuff like that. But I don't know what else to use it for either, except just nerding out on Lord of the Rings. I actually haven't seen the new show either that they made.
It's good
on Amazon, right?
Yeah, it's on Amazon.
Yeah.
So basically what happened too is like Jeff Bezos' kid was like, I love Lord of the Rings. Don't fuck this up, Dad. And they put so much money into it.
No pressure.
It's really cool. And it's cool seeing where like you find out like Gandalf and Sauron and everything, where all those people come from, and Saruman and shit like that. So like I think that's really cool, and does a good job of like,
so it's like
think you know something.
It's like before the Hobbit, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's before the Hobbit, like way before. This is like before the Ring. It basically, it's called the Ring of Power, the Rings of Power, I think.
Is it outlining basically how they came to be?
How all the different houses, like how like the elves and men and everybody got their rings.
Oh, that does sound really awesome. See, I haven't looked into it enough to even know what the premise was, but that sounds like a fantastic story to tell.
It's really cool. It's really good. And then what I like about it, like I was saying, is like it does a very good job of like, you think you know something and then you don't, and then you think you know it and then you get new information. It's like, wait, is that true? So it's not just like a paint by numbers television show. I think it does a good job of like being interesting.
I have seen a lot of, I haven't heard it called a paint by numbers show before, but that makes total sense because I've seen so many things that are the same exact format, where it's like somebody basically, they were like, oh, this formula works. Like it's a surefire way to make something that's like in a certain format that works and follows the same patterns. Yeah. And then you see it used over and over again for like, I don't know, even something that's super obvious, like Squid Game, when it came out, you saw a bunch of other shows. They're like, oh, we can do like a Squid Game type show where it's like, okay, this is literally, you just reskinned the same show. that kind of thing.
All right. I'm gonna try to like bang through all this, like go through the slides quickly. Maybe.
How are we already like we're literally in a Middle Earth lair now?
Yeah, we were talking about Middle Earth.
Yeah.
Thank God.
We were stalling so we could continue talking about who we wanted to marry, fuck, or kill.
Anyways, I researched gobbledygook for like 35 minutes and found out like the whole history of it, and then now I was like, I guess I should continue playing this game now.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
Right up where you left off.
I figured I would. I was like, what else do I have?
Marry, fuck, kill. Hats, beanies, visors.
What's a Benny? Who's Ben?
Beanie. Oh, I misspelled it.
Yeah, it's a Benny. I like Benjamins.
Hats,
beanies, and visors.
Or the drummer Benny.
Keeping hats.
Yeah. Keeping hats?
Keeping hats. We're going to marry the hats. Beanies are dumb, but they're not as dumb as visors. We're talking like those head visors that stick out and like you have a hole in the middle, right?
Yeah, like
golf.
It's this
without the top.
As somebody who likes to golf, I hate,
but without the hat part.
So because they're so stupid. I'm gonna kill off visors. I'll fuck the beanies, and I'm marrying the hats.
See, I think I'm gonna marry beanies now that I moved to New York because it's like windy and it's cold. So a beanie is so much better than a hat because the hat will just fly off my fucking head. So I will fuck with hats and I'll get rid of a visor. Because I don't want that sunburn on the top of my head, you know?
I wore this the whole time I was in New York and it was windy and cold. And I will say it kept my head warm and I kept thinking it was going to blow off, but it was fine.
Well, that visor, the bill is kind of short on that compared to like another hat.
Yeah. Well, it's got like, it does that, I think. I don't know why.
It's got aerodynamics, man.
Who would ever wear it like that? Like
if you were
train conductors,
captaining a ship,
captaining a ship. Oh, now I want to snap something. To
Steamboat,
this.
yeah.
Or if you're like a newsie,
I could snap something on here.
Yeah,
that's a bad idea.
So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna visors can go away. Beanies are great. So kill visors, fuck beanies, and marry hats. I have a relationship with hats already, so I think we all sort of agree.
I think that visors at this point we've all just decided are a fashion that needs to go away. But then again, you tried to bring back fanny packs and mildly succeeded.
I brought back fanny packs. I mean, I didn't solely bring them back, but
I'm
they're basically there's a new bandolier.
Every guy in New York that's like fashion forward has a fanny pack all the time.
Do they bandolier them or do they fanny pack them around their waist?
Bandolier around like the chest.
Yeah.
They all do that shit. All right, next one. Dogs, cats, birds.
I'm allergic to cats, so kill them. Marry dogs, fuck birds. Boom.
There you go.
Easy day.
Wow.
Yeah, I killed cats on the internet just now. I did that.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'll marry the dogs because I have my cats, but I love dogs considerably more. So marry dogs. I'll fuck cats. Screw birds, man.
That's fair. I think I would do something similar.
Birds aren't real.
Yeah.
Birds are. And also the size of the pigeons y'all have is crazy. Just again.
Oh, yeah. All right.
We do have a bird's lair. Oh, this one's great. I'll go last.
I'm gonna marry Dogecoin. I'm gonna fuck with Ethereum, and I guess I wrote fick instead of fuck it. And then I'm gonna kill off Bitcoin just so I can see the world burn.
Some
people just like to watch the world burn.
I'm gonna marry the Bitcoin just because it's extraordinarily valuable at the moment. And a divorce would probably net me a good amount of currency. I'll fuck Ethereum and Dogecoin can be gone at this point.
I'm also going to marry Bitcoin. I'm a Bitcoiner. That's my main squeeze, man. And I would kill Ethereum. I would kill Ethereum. And
we are backboned on Ethereum.
And Dogecoin is a lot of fun. So that's going to be
a meme.
It is a meme. Yes, it is.
It's a meme with weight.
It's a meme. It's a meme with fundamentals behind
a meme with morals.
Sounds like something fun to fuck with. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
All right, next one. Apple, Microsoft, or Linux? What do you?
That one's easy for me.
I don't even know
I'm going to marry Linux. I'm going to fuck Apple, and I'm going to kill Microsoft. 110%. I think the world would be a better place.
We're going to go exactly like on that path. You're correct.
Because Linux is reliable, Apple is sexy, and Microsoft is a garbage fire.
I'm going to say, in Apple's defense for like Linux being reliable, Apple's software is fairly reliable. Their hardware, not so much these days. Well, actually, with the M series, it's pretty good. But
Apple is basically Linux, though. It's BSD.
Yeah, I was going to say it's just a version of BSD at the end of the day. I used to use Mac specifically when I was doing stuff here more that I needed to use my own computer for, just because it was like having Linux that was stable with standard software support.
Yeah, and the command line is basically the same too.
Oh, and you can load a thing that's at this point that's just called Homebrew, and you have command line grabbing of anything.
Yeah, casks.
That's great. Yeah, good old casks. I used to run Piano Bar that way all the time.
Yep. John?
God, I loved Piano Bar.
Oh, I'm just gonna I'm gonna marry Microsoft, and then the other ones can fuck off.
You gonna kill both of them? What?
Just because I still want to play Xbox.
Okay. If Microsoft vanished, they'd have to figure out a way to make everything run on everything else. So yeah.
That's the holdout, man. That's the reason I still have use Windows and it's the reason a lot of people have Windows where the games are. That's where people are making video games.
And that's also the only one I know how to use.
There's that.
I hate that excuse.
I can use Apple, but I'm not as good with it.
I knew somebody who wouldn't listen to music unless she already knew it.
That sounds sad.
Doesn't that? It sounds like that's what that sounds like to me. Is like, no, that's a real thing. Didn't like music that they didn't already know.
How is that possible?
Also didn't like live music. Also didn't like live music because it was different than how it sounded on the album.
I used to not like live music that much when I was a lot younger, but now I'll seek out a live album just to see how somebody sounds live instead of like a recording. Because I don't want to be the person that's like, oh, I love this music artist, and they're not actually a music artist.
Okay.
I
don't know what a music artist is, but
like,
yeah, I was thinking about that too.
I guess whatever.
Music art. All right, dude.
That's like it's like calling it a drinky instead of a drunk.
A drinky instead of a drunk.
Tacos, pizza, or wings. What are you getting rid of?
Oh, Dave goes first on this one.
Yeah. So I'll kill wings, fuck pizza, marry tacos.
I'm gonna kill the wings, marry the pizza, and fuck the tacos.
Interesting.
Just because pizza's so convenient.
I think I'm gonna marry tacos.
Mm-hmm.
I love both of those things. All right, I'm gonna fuck pizza and kill wings, but I can still have buffalo chicken pizza.
Yeah, you can.
There you go.
Kill two birds with one stone.
Work around.
I can't have pizza flavored wings, but I can have wings flavored pizza.
I mean, you might be able to have pizza flavored wings.
And I can.
John,
also have buffalo chicken tacos.
I gotta say, John, when you first brought this slide deck up, I was concerned, but I'm really impressed because I was like, we can't talk about actual people because that's gonna be a problem.
I mean, I was gonna say, I'm down to give my opinions on that at any point.
I made this at 8:30 today.
Okay, all right,
and it was done by 9.
Awesome.
All right, PS5, Xbox, or PC.
I am a long-standing PlayStation holdout because they used to have exclusives that were Metal Gear Solid used to exclusively be Sony.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go ahead and fuck the PS5, which sounds so visceral. I'm going to marry the PC, and the Xbox it can go.
I'm going to copy what you just said. Yeah. I used to prefer Xbox over PlayStation. I had a PS1, loved it. I ended up, when I got the 360, the Xbox 360, I just loved the offset, and I still do. I like the offset controller.
I was going to say the controller's great.
The thumbsticks, right? The way that it's laid, it's just really a good controller. But I bought a PS4 when Final Fantasy VII Remake came out because that was the only thing it was available for at the time. So I bought the whole console for that one game. And I have an Xbox One as well. Maybe I'll sell that. I'll never use it again. But also, I got a PS4, and I hadn't played a PlayStation console since the PS2, right? And it reminded me how much of a like focused gaming experience PlayStation brings to the table, whereas Xbox likes to be sort of everything. They want to be your multimedia center for like watching Netflix and doing the whatever, right? PlayStation feels like it's just there to be a gaming console. And I fell back in love with PlayStation after the PS4. So I would kill Xbox, marry PC, fuck PS5. I'm a PC gamer.
While
so
we're on
that's my long-term
So
commitment there.
both of you are incorrect. The correct answer is to fuck and marry the PC. So
I didn't even think that was an option.
PC
it's got multiple ports. You can do everything.
It's got many a port.
Put a ring on one of them. You can insert
your HDMI connection.
Really, the PS5 and the Xbox are just PCs with a controller. So
they are.
I mean, I think I'd marry the PC, and then fuck PS5, and then get rid of the Xbox.
I like how we were all pretty much in agreement on that one.
All right, next one. All right, did you have something else you want to add?
I want to just throw in really quick. That was wild. You mentioned controllers and like the offset of the Xbox controller. Yeah. I prefer that any day of the week. Like I literally have my one here that I just use for playing like golf games and crap. But how Google Stadia shut down?
I do.
So those controllers
very familiar with that.
Became e-waste for a while and were like $2. You could get them for cheap, and they're really nicely made controllers. They have the PlayStation layout. That's the only thing I'm not a huge fan of. So Stadia recently, Google pumped an update to make it where you can use them just as Bluetooth controllers.
Oh, that's good.
It is an excellent like PC alternative to a PlayStation controller. If you like the double sticks like that, it's a damn good controller. I've been using it for about like 2 or 3 weeks now.
All right, I'll have to keep that in mind. Did the price go up after that happened?
Oh, of course. They're expensive again.
Okay.
But just like if anybody happens to have one and just thinks that they are garbage now, you can just make them a controller.
Cool.
Nice.
All right,
nerd.
Coffee with Den, World Blockchain Roundtable, or the Den.social show?
The Den.social.
I would probably marry the Blockchain Roundtable because I learn a whole bunch of fun stuff there, and I don't want to marry myself. I would rail this show, and gonna go ahead and say we're gonna end the Den.social.
Is this the Den.social itself, or the update show on Thursdays, or the governance call on Thursdays?
The governance call.
Okay, all right, because Den.social is
an entire thing.
Yeah, that's like
that'd be like getting rid of Den.
Shut it all down.
That would actually get rid of all three of them.
Would end everything.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think we would get rid of Coffee with Den because we don't really talk about Den that much.
We would just begin babbling about other random
crap.
Yeah,
we're just talking with people who happen to be on Den. That's the point. Yeah.
I also misspelled coffee. I thought I miscounted how many E's there were because the F's look just like the E's.
That's one thing that you and Donald Trump have in common.
Yeah, but he has like fucking V's in there or some shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Gofefe or whatever the fuck it was.
Gofefe, yeah. C-O-V, Gofefe. I almost called this show Covfefe with Den, but I figured it was like funny once, but it's probably not something that should be there forever.
It's funny, like the stupid kid in class doing something. Like you want to do it once, but then you want to get back to what you were doing before.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna marry Coffee with Den. And then
it's like, who do I kill off?
Here's the thing. What I like I've gotten stuff back from Den.social though.
Oh, okay.
Like if it wasn't for Den.social, I wouldn't have gotten the little the sidebar on
That's
Den.
True. Yeah.
You know?
It's a tough call.
What is World Blockchain giving me in return? You know? And just if you kill it off doesn't mean something else can't come in its place. You know?
I would I would marry World Blockchain Roundtable, fuck this show, kill the Den.social governance call.
Yeah.
The reason is because the Den.social call is somewhat redundant because there's also updates given out on Tuesdays on Super Happy Dragon Lucky, which is a different Tuesday show.
Oh, I should have used that one instead of Den.social, I guess, probably.
That's all right. But there's my rationale.
That makes sense. All right. Oh well.
All right. Well, that was a good finale.
Moving on to no, it's not over.
Okay.
Moving swiftly forward.
All right. What layer out of all of the layers that we have?
Oh
God! Would you fuck, marry, and kill?
There's a lot of them. Let's bring them up.
Oh, this is gonna anger somebody. I'm ready. Who are we pissing off?
All right. Let's see.
I'm gonna marry the cannabis layer because it gives me every info I need.
Gonna marry that cannabis layer. Now you're all subscribed to all of them anyway. So
yep. Everybody's subscribed to everything again, unless you're not.
I'm gonna fuck current situation just because I very much so like going in there and posting crap.
Mm-hmm.
I'd kill off the eroticism layer.
I don't think it's been used for.
It's because I hate that damn picture of an avocado.
Change it.
I love it.
I don't have enough power in the porno layer to change it.
What do you want to change it to?
I don't know.
What do you want to change it? Well, tell me later what you want to change it to. I'll suggest it. That's the thing. Anything you don't like, you can just change it.
Yeah, kind of. As long as people vote. If people don't vote, that doesn't happen.
Well, actually, if they don't vote, it just goes with whoever did vote.
Oh, that's true.
So there's that.
So I'm marrying Coffee with Den layer for sure.
Okay. All right.
And then I think I don't know. Now I got to look at mine. What's on my news feed? Ugh.
There's a Star Wars one too, Texas.
Yeah, but like those don't like get used in shit, you know?
Yeah, that's fair. I'm gonna marry the music layer. I think the music layer has a lot of potential. I don't think it's at its potential, but it has a lot of potential. I'm gonna fuck the politics layer because they get rowdy. And I will kill off the what do I kill? What layer would I kill?
Den support.
That's funny. I would kill the let's see. Let me think about this. I would kill the maker layer. That's what I would do.
I think but that's already dead.
Yeah, I know.
You can't.
I'll kill the dead horse. Yeah. It's got such good graphics and potential.
Yeah.
All right, there's mine.
Yeah, I'm gonna marry Coffee with Den, and then I'm gonna fuck Den support.
Okay.
Just so I can fuck with it. And then I'm gonna kill I think I'm gonna kill. This is cool because then I can like get.
I'm just gonna take that soundbite from you right now.
I think I'm gonna kill.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
I think I'm gonna kill.
Pick one.
I think I'm gonna kill the Christianity layer.
You would be controversial.
Just because I think it'd be funny when they go back to because there's like people that just post there every day and like back and forth to each other. Probably is what I think it is. And I think it would just be funny if like one day they're like, Jesus got rid of my layer.
It was divine intervention.
Yeah, it's just one dude that posts like a fucking quote every day.
Cool.
And gets like zero up.
Good for them, man. I don't like that's fine. I don't think it's murder worthy, but you know.
No, I'm killing the layer just because I think it'd be funny if he goes back and be like, God got rid of your layer, dude. Sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, John's got a sense of humor and he takes it out on people's religious beliefs.
No, I just take it out. I don't think it's not. I'm not taking it out on like the religious belief whatsoever.
Or you're directing your comedy towards. I don't know. That's a touchy subject, man. People really get like. I don't know. It's hard to joke about stuff like that because people get really uptight. It's such an important part of their lives and stuff like that. You know.
No, I'm just talking about the narcissism with himself. Like the person that's just like, it's so important that I gotta tell everybody about this quote.
Well, maybe that's part of it, man. Maybe that's part of the trial, right? Maybe that's the test. Will you keep on keeping on, even if you think no one's listening?
Put that energy towards something else. like keep on keeping on like somewhere else and
I think it would be great if there were more like Christians talking in the Christian lair, because I have questions and I have thoughts on Christianity, you know.
And if you posted that, you'll probably get like a homily that doesn't answer your question.
Maybe. And I also I don't want to offend anyone, but I also have like legitimately I have issues with like Christian history and things like that. Like my wife was asking me recently where I'd want to live or like where I want to visit next and go see or something like that. And I was thinking I want to go someplace that was not like completely transformed by an Abrahamic religion of some sort. Because like the whole world, besides like the Asian countries basically, and like Iceland, seems like have been either they all worship the same God, right? They're just arguing over like details of that.
I got
because you have everything's either a Christian, Muslim, or Jewish. It seems like besides the Asian countries, from my experience. All so right, someplace that hasn't been like Japan, you know.
I know where you would go. I got it. Go to Salem.
Salem?
There's some witch trials going on.
Funny you mentioned that. I was looking. It's not cheap. Boston is so expensive because one of the places we're looking at is maybe ending up in Boston. And good Lord, is it expensive, dude? Holy crap. Like, I'm sure you've experienced that too, where you live now, but it's just insane to me. And even outside of Boston, I was looking at Salem, for example. It's cheaper, but it's not like that much cheaper either. That whole region is just nuts.
Yep. It's crazy. It costs money to live places that other people want to live, and nobody wants to live in Florida. So people are or at least in Gainesville.
People are moving to Florida again. Gainesville. We just got a new road, so we're moving up. Yeah.
All right.
What else we got?
So that was my last one. So it's like if you guys have any other ones that you want to bring up, now is the time to do it because this is it.
Yeah. Okay. So Gravity Crab isn't here, but I gotta.
We can wait for him.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna wait for him. Video games. What's video games we've all played? You've played like role-playing games and MMOs and stuff like that, right? So you played. So what about Fallout? I know that you've played Fallout. Did you play Skyrim, like Elder Scrolls stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say Fallout 4, Skyrim, and let's do another single player open world RPG. Pick one. What do you think?
Single player?
Yeah. Or we could just go World of Warcraft.
Zelda.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Skyrim, Zelda, like Breath of the Wild, basically, right? Would be the one that's the most similar to those. So Breath of the Wild, Skyrim, Fallout 4. Fuck, marry, kill.
I think I would probably marry Skyrim and then fuck Breath of the Wild and kill off Fallout. Just because like I feel like Fallout like is too. There wasn't as much to do in it as I wish there was.
It was a bit shallow, I guess. Like it's a good game, and I would go back and play it today. But I see what you mean compared to the depth of, for example, Skyrim or Breath of the Wild. It just didn't seem you weren't as I don't know. It didn't like bring you in as deeply, I think, as the other ones. So now we're doing Gravity Crab. We're doing Skyrim, Fallout 4, Breath of the Wild.
Oh.
Zelda. Fuck, marry, kill. That's what we're on.
I am going to confuse you. I'm going to marry probably Breath of the Wild just because that's the only time I've ever bought a console to play a game. So I bought a Switch to play it. Obviously,
I bought a Switch to play Splatoon.
I'm gonna, not even bothered by that. I'm gonna probably gonna rail Skyrim. No, Skyrim gets killed off and Fallout 4 continues. Right. And the reason for that is because vanilla Skyrim is not the same thing.
That's like actually, I could go.
And also, like, that's not the best Elder Scrolls game. And
yeah, there's
to remember that. Yeah, like I would, if I had a choice of what game storyline I wanted to play through, or like play through entirely, I would love just a super updated Morrowind or Oblivion over Skyrim.
That's fair, yeah. Because honestly, if Skyrim went away, I would thoroughly enjoy playing Oblivion. And Open Morrowind feels pretty good.
It's great, like with controller support. That's excellent.
Yeah. I mean, I'll go play Elden. I'll play Elden Ring too, and like I'll just go play that. Like, it's a great game.
Yeah, fair enough.
I cannot. I've tried so hard to get good at Elden Ring, but I am just not one of those people that can do Souls type games.
You just go farm fucking runes and win the game.
I go farm runes. I used to use a rubber band for that.
What else? What's So this is just
yours? Did you do yours, John?
Yeah.
Oh, what did you pick on this one?
I was gonna I said I was gonna marry Skyrim. Right?
That's I think so.
It's fine. I mean, I'm glad somebody's gonna. Todd Howard damn sure did.
And you killed Fallout. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
I think I'd actually marry Breath of the Wild, fuck Fallout, and then kill off Skyrim, because I think I'd rather play WoW than Skyrim. I'd rather. There's other games I'd rather play than Skyrim. That's in the same genre.
Fair enough. Well, that's been the Valentine's edition of Marry Fuck Kill.
That was a wild segue, but I enjoyed it. No, that's great.
I didn't expect that. Thanks for bringing that in and throwing it together, John.
Yeah, absolutely. You're welcome.
I like that we have Austin Powers here, mildly dressed like a Vault Tech employee.
Yeah.
I think.
A little bit.
Oh yeah, a little bit. A little circle with the yellow. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Then I'll play the outro video again.
All right, that has been.
Our eyes first met from across the roller rink. I was quite nervous, but you gave me a wink.
All right, that was silly.
And that song is by a band called Chupacabra.
Chupacabra, really? Okay.
The song is called Roller Rink Romance.
Nice.
That is an excellent name for a band.
It's a Gainesville band. Justin was in it.
I remember. I don't think I ever went to a Chupacabra show or anything. I think I was like still in the Navy when they were popular in town or whatever. I remember Cardboard Paradise going to see Cardboard. And a lot of them ended up in Velociraptor. When I did,
man, those are such good names.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna go work on some real stuff. This has been an interesting morning. Thanks for having coffee with me.
Of RAM. Sorry, I'm just noticing you have a stack of RAM.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, I've got other stuff. Like I've got 512 gigabytes of ECC DDR4 server memory. I don't think I'm going to sell that one, but I do have almost just as much also DDR4 server memory, but it's instead of 3200 megahertz, this one's 2133, which is a little bit more specific. But if you've got an Intel server board, I got memory for you. You can sell that.
Those look like crazy harmonicas from here.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's good.
Well, on that, I think we should continue on. I got to get back to work.
All right, we'll do that. Thanks. Everybody go look at the reminders over in the post today. There's stuff like leave a question for World Blockchain Roundtable and vote on all the things, and go vote for the marketplace layer or whatever layer you want.
Or the marketplace layer.
Or the marketplace layer. Yeah, that way we can bring more utility to Matter and give people something to spend it on. So cool. I'll be on World Blockchain Roundtable tomorrow at 11. We're going over pros and cons of state governments using blockchain technology. pros and cons of that. So CBDC conversation probably. Anything from you guys? We'll get out of here.
No, I'm good. I've done nothing.
Don't take life too seriously. You'll never get out alive.
Yeah, we're all headed to the same place, right? All right, but everyone, here's that song I like from Y'all Weird called Into the Dragon. Have a good one. Cheers.
Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best. Adaptable, all capital, label radical yet rational. A tactical approach is palpable if this animal is fallible, but that conclusion is laughable. So with for all detachable from the mandible, you see it now.